Hey guys, it's Michelle with My Sweet Frivolity coming to you at like 4 in the morning because I am perimenopausal and I don't sleep well. So I thought I would film a quick video and talk to you about how I set up my December monthly spread in my bullet journal. This is a new notebook for me. This is only the second notebook I've started that I am keeping up with, or at least plan to keep up with. And let me show you what I'm in. I am in an Archer and Olive B5, my notebook that I'm just about done with. And the reason I am starting it in December, not waiting till January, is because I have 2 weeks. I'm just about finished with my B5 notebook, or sorry, my A5 notebook, and then I'm going to switch to this, but I don't want to wait till the beginning of the year because I still need a notebook for the last couple weeks of December. So this is just from their winter release, and I fell in love with this notebook, so I really wanted to make sure that I'm using it. And so just to kind of give you an idea what that looks like if you aren't familiar with what this notebook is. And so it's 160 GSM dot grid paper, so you can really do a lot with the thicker pages. But so this is how it looks. I have some pages set aside because I plan to be in this for probably 4 to 6 months at the beginning of 2026. And so I'm just have some sticky notes in here because this is going to tell me, I'm going to do a grid spacing guide and color coordinate that. So I need to set that up. I'll have a feature log in with basically one like January, February, March, April, May, June, and then the other 6 months of the year here with some decoration on it. And then some 6 areas that I want to track over the next year with quarterly reviews, some intentions that go along with these 6 areas I'm tracking. And then things to try and a dopamine list. Part of this is because I'm trying to spend less money on stationery overall because I do have a good collection of stationery and I want to have not a no buy because I enjoy stationery and I don't want to be feeling restricted, but I want to be more intentional about what I purchase, and I also want to be more intentional about organizing the things I have and using what I have. This will be an affirmations page where I basically will cut out around 6 different envelopes. It depends, we'll see. And then glue this to the back page. And then every time, I need a little pick me up, I'm just going to open the envelope up and have a little saying inside. So this page will be blank because they're going to get glued together. But this is my December spread. And basically it's 3 pages here. And then from there, I will just go on and use my notebook freely like I normally do between journaling, memory keeping, brain dumping, and then each week that comes up, I set up a new weekly spread. And so I don't set the weekly spreads up ahead of time because I might spend two pages in before the next weekly spread comes, or I might have 10 pages that I need in here. I just don't know. And I like to have it really in chronologic order as I go. So anyways, how I did this, I'm gonna just kind of focus this here a little differently. So basically how I did this was I designed this around these 3 washi tapes. This here is Simply Gilded. This was part of her Maple Blush collection. I think it was the November release, part of the fall release. And I really loved the pinks, and I wanted to do pink and blue. So I took this washi tape here. This is from Archer and Olive's winter release. This one here I took. And then this is from Live Love Posh. She has these thin neutral washi tape box. I don't know if this is available on her site because I've had it for some time and hadn't really used much of it. Not because they're not great products, it's just because I wasn't intentional about setting something up with it. So I grabbed this pink because it matched this pretty nicely and was a more subdued pink went with this, so I could just do some accents with it. So I planned this based on these 3 washi tapes, and basically what I did was I took some pages from an Archer and Olive notebook. I would rip pages out. I'd line the washi tapes, and I did a few other washi tapes in here too, but I basically line it, this paper, with the washi tape, and then I ran it through my die cutter. And so I started out with making these ornament based, and this is the pack that I had here of these ornament die cuts. I didn't make the ornament part because, to be frank with you, this took a lot of time to set up and design, mostly because of the die cuts, and I wouldn't recommend that for most of your monthly spreads, just because who has the time for that? I wanted to really play around with this, and I was willing to take the time, but again, I didn't get this set up before December, and that's okay, you know. I still have a purpose for this, and I'm going to fill this in here shortly, but I wanted to do a filming with this first. But I used these, and I ran it through my die cutter, and then I got a bunch of, so this is my leftover stash. So I got some various different, you know, ornament die cuts without the little top of the ornament, and then it left a snowflake pattern in the middle. So I used those. And I decided to do a Dutch door with this. I did one Dutch door. So when I place these down, I use this thin washi tape here, and then the die cuts, or the inside part of the die cuts. And so basically this is the Simply Gilded, this is the Archer and Olive, and then I also use this Washi Tape Shop, had this PET tape. And this is one of their PET tapes that came out before they started doing pre-cutting. So I had to cut all this down. That was another thing that took a little bit of time. But I think it looks pretty cool. I used this to do the outlining here. I used this Archer and Olive pen. I think this came in their Advent box. I can't remember from this year. And I just, you know, basically used a straight edge and did my calendars. I wanted a few of the edges to be rounded instead of square, so just kind of did that randomly. This numbers here is like a rose gold, and it's Simply Gilded. Has these number, basically the calendars that you can use, and I like these over some of their other ones they do. They have a lot of hearts on their date dots, and I wish that they would do more of these square date dots, because they're a little more subtle. And you, if you can imagine adding hearts with the numbers on here, sometimes it's overwhelming to the eye, and I think it'd be really nice if it was a little more subtle and you could do more of these. So I use that. And then in terms of I don't have really much for alphabet die cuts or stickers. I didn't find any stickers that match this, and again, I wanted to incorporate the washi tapes. And I also used for these the letters in here in December, I used this, which was also part of the this is part of Archer and Olive's winter release, this one here. But to get the letters for December, I used this Thinlits Tim Holtz designed Sizzix. And it's kind of industrial looking, but I think you put it with a really pretty washi tape design and you run it through your die cutter that way, it actually looks really pretty. So, and then to get the stamps here, I bought this on Amazon. I don't know when, but these stamps are nice because they all interlink. And so I just used these stamps, some capitals and some lowercase letters, and that's how I stamped this. And I used a Distress Oxide in the Uncharted Mariner. So that's what I used to design this page. And then I used this gyro cutter. I learned about this from Amy Plans Things, and she, I think, bought this on Amazon, and I might have used her link. She does a lot of Dutch doors, so if you go on her website, you can kind of learn tutorials, and she'll teach you how to do Dutch doors. But I picked up this gyro cutter, and then I was able to just kind of cut around. I, of course, put a cutting mat underneath this and just cut around this after I had these glued down. And then a lot of times I'll use fabric tack to glue these down because I feel like it doesn't make the page bubble. So that's how I set up this page. And then on this page, I wanted to put some intentions for the month. If I have content ideas, brainstorming, I just want to throw it down here so I have a place every month to reference back. And then I have an expense log here, and then habits. I found that if I try to track more than 2 habits, it just doesn't work. And so I think the goal with habit tracking is if you are active in making those new behaviors a habit, after 3 or 4 weeks, they're kind of ingrained into your schedule. And if you keep up with them, then maybe there's another habit you incorporate the next month. So I only ever feel I want to keep it simple, and I only ever feel like I need to track 2 habits at a time. So this is just reading every day. If it's 5 minutes, an hour, it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure I'm reading every day. And so I know that the first of the month is on a Monday. I'm always a Monday start kind of girl. And the first of the month is here. And so I didn't number these. You can number these if you want. To get these lines, I used this stencil. It was part of a pack. Also got this off of Amazon. And I just, I basically just, put this down here. And then again, I use this Archer and Olive pen from their Advent box to outline those. But we're a couple days past this, and I haven't tracked these other habits, so I'm just going to color this in. I didn't read last night, but I read Tuesday night. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I think I only read for 5 minutes last night, but it still counts, so we're going to write it in. And then in no spend, the way I'm tracking no spending is it's not just anything. It's specific to stationery. So my goal for 2026 is to have a low buy year. Not a no buy year, but a low buy year. I'll keep my subscriptions and then really try not to buy anything else in between, any stationery subscription. So I haven't spent any money. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I didn't spend any money yesterday. So on stationery. So yay, I've got a little streak going. So, and then what I did here was, again, I just used on the back side of this, after it was already cut out, I filled in with this washi tape design PET tape, and it's nice because these lend themselves really well to layering and kind of filling in the space. I used this Archer and Olive as an outline, and then from their winter release again, they have this paper pack, and basically, let's see, it's this page here. I pulled it out and then I cut a strip down just enough to make sure that this was covered when I had the book. When this page was on top of it, I just had it covered, and then I basically cut it in 2 columns, 2 thin columns, and I tacked it down with some fabric tack. And then you can see the seam here. It doesn't bother me. I could probably put some more stickers or decoration, but I didn't want to make it too complicated or be too busy on the page. So, and then just kind of did the edge with this washi tape again. And then this is my last spread at the setup, and this is my first weekly. Again, I'm split between 2 notebooks in December, and that's okay. I just kind of highlighted here with my Caliograph in deep blush, and I just took the thin edge and I just kind of did a running line through here so I know which week I was on. And this also was stamped out using the Distress Oxide here, and this calendar set that I got in the Advent box came with a stamp. It came with a small teal stamp pad with their new inks from Archer and Olive. I didn't care for the color because it didn't quite match with that. So, but anyways, this stamped out with the Monday start, which is right down here, was how I created that. And then this is what I don't like about this page. I did not have a Tombow brush pen. If you're not familiar with Tombow brush pens, they are very, they tend to be, some are vibrant, but some are very subdued. And this has a lot of color on here. And so I feel like when you open the page, all you see is these 2 sets of lines, which is okay. But this is how I'll do my weekly. We are getting ready to go out of town, and so I don't need a lot in way of weekly planning on here. So I'm going to try this. This is a new setup, new weekly spread for me. And again, being in B5, I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. So I just left some blank page. I put this quote down here: "The antidote for complaining is gratitude," which is just my own personal saying, because I'm trying to be more mindful of not complaining in this next year. And so I want to be more, focus on gratitude. So I have good things in gratitude here. And then I just kind of carried some of this washi tape throughout. with that. And then again, this Simply Gilded, I did a torn edge on this. I kind of like that, but I'm not loving this and this, but I like these calligraphs, don't get me wrong, it's just not for this. So I feel like in the future, if I do another spread like this, I'll just do more of a subdued color, but I didn't have a Tombow brush pen or something that was softer or less saturated, I guess I should say. And so I'll probably have to write in a black pen for that to show up, but that's okay. But anyways, then I have the whole rest of the notebook as far as many pages I need before I need to set up my next weekly spread. And then I just wanted to show that to you and kind of show you the supplies I use and how I mix different collections together that coordinate, and a little from here and a little from there and a little from there. And you can kind of, use your stationery more cohesively if you kind of shop your stash. So anyways, that's my December start to my monthly December setup, and thanks for sticking with me today at this early hour, and I will see you guys next time.